Richard Allen's trial about to start, it seems like his defence team haven't slowed down in terms of filing motions. This time, one of the things that they've filed is a request for the county to give permission for Kegan Kline to be transported to Carroll County to be used as a witness in the trial. This has perked up a lot of ears, of course, because we know that there's a history there with Kegan Kline and connections to the Delphi case. So if you're not familiar with the case, Kegan Kline was arrested several years back now for possession of images, let's say, and he was also questioned because he was told by law enforcement that he was the last person to have contact with one of the girls, and he had in fact been communicating online with one of the girls, doing a bit of catfishing under a fake identity. So there was a lot of speculation that Kegan Kline was responsible for what happened to Abby and Libby. And there was certainly plenty of documentation that came out, and plenty of the Murder Sheet podcast did a lot of interviews with people connected to the Kline family. There was speculation that Kegan Kline's father may have been bridge guy. It was a huge, crazy, like everything in Delphi, a big crazy thing that had so many people believing that Kegan Kline or his father was bridge guy, or that they were both involved with the deaths of the girls. So of course when Richard Allen was arrested, people suddenly did a double take and were like, well, hang on, how does all this connect with Kegan Kline? Kegan Kline has since been convicted for the images that he has and is going to be locked up for a very, very long time. Now, I find it interesting that the defence team intend on using him as a witness for a few reasons. First of all, there was the ruling by Judge Gull in July where she said that the defence could not introduce the theory of a third party being responsible for the deaths of the girls. So that means that they clearly can't be intending on trying to pin it on Kegan Kline, and they can't be using him as a witness to try and pin it on him. Likewise, they can't be using him as a witness to try and pin it on his father, theoretically, because Judge Gull has already ruled against them trying to introduce additional suspects, unless there is some way that they are planning on getting around that. The other thing with using Kegan Kline, and this is something that if you followed the Delphi case and if you followed all the Kegan Kline stuff, then you would know the guy is a compulsive liar. He cannot lie straight in bed. He was more than happy to say to Barbara McDonald, I believe it was, when she did a jailhouse interview with him, he was more than happy to dump his own father in it and to claim that his father was responsible for the deaths of Abby and Libby, just to save his own skin. So there's that. And of course there's also the massive search near the Kline house where supposedly they were searching for the weapon that was supposed to have been used in the deaths of the girls. He blatantly lied on so many occasions. His story was just full of holes. And yet the defence team want to use him as a witness. Now, to me, hopefully the prosecution are, decent And they will actually tear him to shreds as a witness and tear his credibility apart. Now, I would imagine that the defence team should actually know this. So I'm curious, is there something else going on here that I'm not seeing? Is there something else in the picture that I've missed? Because theoretically, they can't put him forward as a potential suspect. Now, I would have to have another look at the ruling from Judge Gull, but I would imagine that they can't put him forward as a possible suspect. They also can't use his testimony to put Tony forward as a suspect. Likewise, as I said, he is far from credible as a witness. Forget the lives and everything else. This guy is now in prison for a very, very long time for some really nasty crimes. So I think it is going to be very interesting to see if they are actually allowed to use him as a witness, and if so, what angle they are planning on taking by using Kegan Kline as a witness, and just how is the prosecution going to tear that one down. Time will tell. So thanks for listening. If you're new to my channel, please hit the like button. Also, please subscribe and leave a comment below. What are your thoughts on what do you think that the defence team are doing by introducing Kegan Kline into this whole courtroom schmozzle that's going on? Do you think that they will be allowed to use him as a witness? And do you think that he will be considered as a credible witness?